And Chief, from your perspective, do you think there's more positive outcomes in the investigation? We're getting more answers on problems immediately?
I don't think there's any question about that, Mayor.
Okay. And Director, technology was enhanced this year by installing cameras, and we talked about it on January 1st in my New Year's Day speech. Maybe you can elaborate on the issue of cameras.
Cameras is, first of all, it's still in its infancy, Mayor, and we're going to expand on it. We have 11 or 12 cameras right now operational. But we're looking to expand that. We have a federal grant coming in with more money. We're limited right now on some of the fiber optics where they're at throughout the city. But we're also going to use some of this money to expand our fiber optics and have more cameras. The cameras we chose to use are extremely important to us, and the technology is so far advanced, it's unbelievable, because we can record a location. We can save that information for a period of time, and if we need to, we can go back to that reservoir of information, and we can even zoom in on that information, even though it wasn't zoomed in at that time. And this technology is phenomenal for us for police work. We're able to read license plates at different blocks away, recognize individuals. It's extremely important. It's a well thought out program, and we went to other departments to see what each other department to have this working, and we tried to take the best of each department and implement that in the city of Elizabeth.
Chief, how does it do with the officers when they have to go to court? Is this information admissible evidence? If a burglary was committed and it was captured by a camera, even though we didn't see the burglary committed, is that admissible and things of that?
Oh, absolutely, Mayor. Once they're able to record an incident as it happens, it's just like any audio tape that we have now with telephone calls coming in, the videotape is also acceptable.
And the cameras will assist in developing problem studies. Do we review the data or record it, and does it dictate where we allocate resources in the future?
Well, certainly we hope to go in that direction. Now we'll be able to actually see different parts of the city at all times, so we can be proactive in that. As we have someone monitoring it, they could direct patrols to areas where it looks like something's happening actually before it happens.
And Director, you mentioned fiber optics. It's in place through a portion of the city, and the cameras that are currently placed along that fiber route to deliver information. Are we conducting a study basically to say where the additional fiber should be incorporated and what areas of the city?
Yes, we are, Mayor. There's some. We've also been talking with other agencies within the city. We're talking about. We've been talking with the Housing Authority. Now, the Housing Authority has contacted us, and they're very interested in having the same cameras that we have. So we're going to join with the Housing Authority, and we're going to give them. They're going to have the capability of the same cameras we have, and we're going to have the capability of viewing their cameras, and they're going to be able to view their own cameras, but we're going to also have the of looking at ours and theirs. They're only going to be able to look at theirs. We've also talked to the Parking Authority. Parking Authority is also interested in doing the same thing, and only as recently as last week, EDC has talked to us, and we're looking to partner with EDC with doing these same kind of things.
And the grant that we talked about is $355,000 for the federal technology grant to help. These cameras are not cheap.
No, they're not, sir. They're not.
I mean, in order to incorporate it with fiber optics and everything else, it runs quite a few dollars.
It's quite expensive. So probably the most expensive part of it is the fiber optics, getting the fiber optics to the locations.
Chief, one of the things we talked about and other cities are doing is in cameras and gunshot recognition cameras. While the technology is probably not there completely, these cameras are trained to focus on when a gunshot occurs in a neighborhood and then can actually pick up suspects fleeing at the time the gunshot occurs.
That's correct. They have software programs in existence now, and in fact we're going to be meeting with several vendors to go over that particular application. It's the cameras that we have existing are capable of taking that type of software, so that if a gunshot goes off, cameras on either side of it will be directed to both by the audio and the visual, the flash, to direct it to that location so that as it just happened, we could see fleeing suspects, we could see what else went on.
And in your opinion, that would also be admissible in a court of law?
Absolutely.
And do you think we're going to get to the position where those cameras are really refined? I know some towns are using them, but they're really in the beginning stages now.
We are very much in the beginning stages. We're still actually undergoing some training ourselves and completing the backbone of our system. But once it's complete, it's going to be absolutely essential to us.
Director-in-Chief, we're going to take a break, and then we're going to be back and talking more about the Elizabeth Police Department.
Okay.
For Director Jim Cosgrove and Chief Ron Simon, please stay with us after these messages. Welcome back to our city. I'm pleased to be joined by Director Jim Cosgrove and Chief Ron Simon of the Elizabeth Police Department. And one of the things we were talking about before was the cameras at the break. And you talked about partnering with other agencies. And Chief, one of the things I said was if there's a business community who wants to hook up and buy the same camera, we'd figure out a way to put them in the system.
Absolutely. We'd have our technicians meet with them and make sure that they had the proper instruments that we would need to put it into our system.
And Director, we could monitor that just with all the other cameras, and plus the loop would be important for saving it.
Absolutely. And I've already been approached by at least 2 different business people that want to come with us. But we're just not ready for that. We want to get our own system, and with the quasi-public agencies, we want to get on board with them, and then we'll start bringing the public into it.
And they're being told what cameras to investigate at this stage? And,
yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
And the communications center, we just redid it. How's that working out?
Excellent. Excellent, boss. If you look in there, it's a state-of-the-art equipment. The people are trained in it. It's a great 911 system. We have the capabilities of, if we needed to, we could dispatch fire, public works, and other agencies could be dispatched right through our agency.
And the 911 system that the Director just mentioned, it's a new 911 system. Can you tell us more about that, Chief, and how it works?
Well, we're very happy with it. It's we're now into a PC-based Windows type application for 911, and it has a lot of advantages for us. One of them with regards to cell phones coming in. Previously in the old system, if you called on a cell phone, it went to the tower, the nearest tower, and we wouldn't have an exact location on you. Now with the new system, we get longitude and latitude, and with our GPS, our global positioning system, we could figure out exactly where the caller is coming from, and we could actually see if it's moving. So that's a great advantage to us in a communications emergency center. We also have the capability now for the hearing impaired and voice impaired. We always had that system, but it was a little bit complicated. Now with the window-based system, if somebody calls from a TTY machine at their own home into the emergency system, it immediately comes up on our screen and we could see what they're typing onto their machine right away. So these are just a few of the terrific advantages we have.
Chief, you mentioned that the GPS system and 911 can now tell the longitude and latitude of where that cell phone is coming from.
Exactly.
You watch a lot of TV shows, and they always say, you weren't on the phone long enough. Yeah. Is that a truth or a myth now with the new technology?
No, as soon as the connection is made to our 911 center, that location is pinpointed. We know where they are.
On a cell phone? What
Yes.
about on a regular phone?
On a regular phone, we get the address of the caller and the name that the home is registered to.
So this bit on TV shows where they say you weren't on the phone long enough, under the new technology, just the connection will be able to identify where
We'd
you
have
are.
them right there, yeah.
We have to revamp those TV shows right there. What impact does the current status of the economy have on factors like criminal activity, Director?
What we're seeing, boss, right now is, and maybe this is an opportunity to tell the public, one of the things we're seeing is an increase in thefts. And a lot of the thefts involve electronic equipment. Whether it be iPods or GPS systems in cars or even cell phones. We're seeing an increase in this type of product. I guess it's an easy turn it into dollars or for their personal use or what they're doing with them. But we're finding that's where a spike is. We're getting some car burglaries. And if you have one of these GPS systems in your car, I would like to ask the public to please remove it from the car when they're not in the car. People are riding by mostly on bicycles, looking into cars. They'll try the door. If the door's not open, they will break a window and take a GPS system out of a car. Also,
Is the resale value high for them, or?
you know what, boss? We're looking at this, and I'm talking to neighboring communities, and we can't find the market for this. So we've had one opportunity where somebody was arrested purchasing these things, and it was somebody in the limo business.